welcome to Anchor Network, where you get updated news of things happening around you. If this is your first time of visiting this channel, I would like and encourage you to subscribe so that you get updated news as soon as we publish them. The ambition of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, a national leader of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC), to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari in 2023 may clash with the aspiration of his protege, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who is also nursing the same ambition, Daily Independent has gathered. While it is still believed that Tinubu's presidential ambition is still a rumor, as he has not publicly declared. Dele Momodu, a former presidential candidate and publisher of Ovation International magazine, said Tinubu, who is currently in Saudi Arabia with President Muhammadu Buhari, has already begun the race for the highest office in the land. Momodu, who tweeted a picture of Tinubu in Saudi Arabia, wrote Nigeria next president in 2023. The race has started. Best wishes to one of Nigeria's most influential politicians, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Since Momodu's post, many Nigerians believe that the likelihood that Tinubu will run for the presidency in 2023 is very high, especially given the fact that the position will likely be zoned to the south after the completion of the North's 8 years. However, speaking with Daily Independent on the development, a credible source in APC said while it is true that Tinubu will throw his hat in the ring in 2023, his ambition may clash with that of Osinbajo, who also believes that President Muhammadu Buhari may anoint him as successor in order to continue the programs of the Buhari administration. He said aside serving in acting capacity when President Buhari was abroad on medical grounds, Osinbajo's commitment, loyalty, and visits to markets nationwide to promote the trader money scheme has endeared him to many Nigerians who believe he has what it takes to succeed the president in 2023. According to him, the only way there may not be a clash between the duo is if Osinbajo declines pressure to contest due to his loyalty to Tinubu, adding that Tinubu will never sacrifice his ambition for Osinbajo. Yes, I think the coast is becoming clearer by the day on whether Tinubu will contest for the presidency or not. At least Dele Momodu is an authority in the media profession and he is very close to Tinubu. Don't forget that it was Dele Momodu that first hinted Nigerians that Saraki will likely contest for the 2019 presidential election, which he did but lost in the primary. One thing I know is that the vice president is also nursing the ambition. I don't know the mind of the president, but naturally he will want Osinbajo to succeed him, having understood him and demonstrated that he is a loyal, honest and trustworthy helper. One thing is clear, the Osinbajo of today is no longer the one that was nominated 4 years ago when he had no political experience aside serving as Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice under Tinubu. He is now a full-fledged politician, and that could be seen in the way he ensured that Governor Ibikunle Amosu was humbled in Ogun governorship election. Tinubu may be popular in the southwest where he holds the East, but Osinbajo is more popular across Nigeria, especially with the masses given the manner he handled the trader money scheme. So it will be interesting time ahead, he said. In a related development, Afenifere, Yoruba social political organization, on Tuesday said the agitation for which region will produce the president will be greatly reduced if Nigeria is restructured and regions are allowed to develop at their pace. Yinka Odumakin, the group's national publicity secretary, said while it is normal to zone the presidency to the south after the completion of the North's 8 years reign, nothing will be achieved with the current structure of the country, even if the presidency is zoned to regions on a monthly basis. For us, the most fundamental issue is that Nigeria should go back to proper and true federalism. If we go back to true federalism, where every region can manage their affairs, the struggle and agitation for where the president comes from will be less. People have forgotten that in the First Republic, Ahmadu Bello chose to be the premier of the northern region. instead of becoming Prime Minister of Nigeria. He preferred his lieutenant Abubakar Tafawa Balewa to be Prime Minister of Nigeria, while he as a leader chose to be Premier of the Northern Region because that is where the powers are. The reason for all this noise about which zone should produce the president is because Abuja has taken over virtually every area of our life. In terms of rotating the presidency, the normal thing is that after Buhari's 8 years, the presidency should come to the south. But rotating the presidency every week, if we don't do the right thing in the proper structure, the presidency will only benefit whoever is the president and his cronies, just as we are doing now. What special benefit did 8 years of Obasanjo brought to Yoruba? What special benefit did 6 years of Goodluck Jonathan bring to the Ijos? The North has ruled Nigerians more than any section of the country. Based on all indices today, the North is the worst in everything: poverty, children out of schools, and so on. So what we are doing now cannot work for anybody. I think this issue of zoning came from PDP and it was a party thing. I quite agree with what Udumaki said. The issue of zoning, who has it benefited apart from the politicians and their friends? And zoning is not in our constitution, but now they are making it as if it is constitutional. This incident or this story, makes me remember what happened when Obasanjo was finishing his tenure. He brought in Yaradua. But surprisingly, Obasanjo went to unpick Goodluck Jonathan to be vice president, and everybody was surprised. From all indications, Goodluck Jonathan was not supposed to be, because when you talk of experience, when you talk of people that have been in politics before him, when we have the likes of Odile, the former governor of Cross River and former governor of Akwa Ibom then, those guys were really big guys. Every one of them was like expecting to be nominated or to be picked, but surprisingly to all of them, Obasanjo went to unpick Goodluck Jonathan. So I'm not going to be surprised again if Buhari does the same thing. From the look of things, Buhari might be more comfortable with Osinbajo. I may be right or wrong, but from the look of things, just like I said, the relationship between Osinbajo and Buhari is very, very cordial compared to that of Tinubu. What really brought Tinubu and Buhari together was the issue of merging when they wanted to come in 2015, and that was what brought them together, merging their parties together. In terms of working together, they've not really worked together. They've really been far apart, and for the last 4 years, you could see that Tinubu was really relegated, was really distant from Abuja and all of that. Speculations had it that, there was rift between them, though they will always come out to deny that. All these politicians, you can't preempt them enough. Just like a lot of accusations concerning Tinubu. People were like, this guy can't be, he has bought the whole of Lagos. If this guy comes in, he might buy the whole of Nigeria and all of that. We can talk from now to eternity. The people that really do the voting, they are the market women and people that are not educated politically. Even the ones that are, you think that they are knowledgeable, in terms of academics, but when it comes to policies, they are not knowledgeable. And that's the majority of the people that go outside there to vote. Just like El-Rufai said, once you have 2 billion naira, you'll be able to do all the logistics. And the logistics that we are talking here, involves sharing of Ankara, sharing of rice, sharing of two cups of rice. When you talk of rice, it's not a bag of rice. Two cups of rice, two cups of garri, granules, name it. All those little things. Those are the things that freak, the people that are not knowledgeable politically. If you have that deep pocket, they will be able to settle all of those. Just like, speculation has it that the trader money they were sharing was for vote buying. And at the end of the day, it's becoming true, because since the day of that election, the presidential election, nothing like trader money again. I stand to be corrected if trader money has been ongoing after that 23rd of February when the presidential election was held. We don't hear anything again. So it's like kind of confirmation that it was really a vote buying. So all these politicians, like I said, you can't know them enough. You can't preempt them enough. They know how they will get the masses. Even the ones that you think that are knowledgeable, when you talk of the civil servants, when they hold civil servant for like 4 months, 1 year. But during election time, you will see that by the time just okay, let them pay them 4 months or 3 months out of 7 months or 1 year they have been holding them. Before that election, you see that the civil servants themselves, their language will change. And more so again, the only thing that can really change the narratives is when the masses are being educated politically, and it has to be done on time, not 4 months or 1 year before election. It is now we need to be preparing their mind towards 2023. So guys, I would just like to stop here. I want you guys to continue from the comment section if really at the end of the day Buhari might choose Osinbajo instead of Tinubu. Try and leave your comments down below. Thank you very much for always listening. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Bye.